there, Clashers, and thanks for stopping by Clash of Clans Gameplay. Bringing you a new episode today of something a little different that we had, which was joining the first Clan War tournament that I've seen arranged outside of what Supercell puts together. And there's a group of 16 Fair Play clans that had decided to kind of create a war tournament. And we decided to participate. We weren't invited as a clan, but we were invited as some individual members. So we joined a team by the name of IBOS. And our first matchup that we came up against was King's Elite. So these are going to be top attackers from King's Rock family of clans. And taking a look here, unfortunately, we did fall to them. Very tight war, 111 stars by King's Elite to our 110. So the difference came down as they had one extra 3-star than we did. As you'll see as we kind of go through some of the replays here, we got all the Town Hall 10s 2-starred and one of them 3-starred, and all of the Town Hall 9s 3-starred except one, which is what kind of kept us as the difference between King's Elite there. So we'll jump into the first attack here, which is going to be the number 1 player on the IBOS side, AA, getting attacked by King's Elite number 12, Amador. And AA had a good run of defenses here. I think he was attacked 3 or 4 times where they weren't able to either get any stars at all or to get just one. And that was really helping us deep into the war. But then this attack, I think, was a big turn as they were able to get 2 stars on this attack. So enemy attacker coming in with 5 golems plus a golem in the CC, 16 wizards, 12 wall breakers, 3 jump spells, 1 rage spell, 1 freeze spell, 1 poison spell. And he ended up opening 4 different entry points. It was kind of interesting. I at first wasn't sure why he had opened that entry point over there at 9 o'clock, but he ends up dropping some troops down there and then utilizing the wall breakers to get into that first set of walls and then jump spells into the second set. So it was a good plan from that perspective. But as this was going down, originally I didn't think this was going to do it. I thought it was going to be another 1-star attack, but he ended up getting the golems all to funnel to the center so that pretty much all the beams from those infernos, from the multi-target infernos, were hitting the golems and not touching his wizards. So that enabled him to really kind of get up into that next level, and then enabled the queen to continue to clean on the outside before she jumps into the core there and is able to take down the town hall. So it was definitely, I think, a good attack, especially looking at their number 12. Still max heroes and everything else, but jumping up a bit to go ahead and get the 2-star on the number 1 base that was in the clan we were participating with. So unfortunate that it worked out that way. It would have been a different war had we, I think, been able to hold back on that one, but was a solid attack by King's Elite there. So we'll go ahead and take a look at a couple more attacks by King's Elite before we jump over to some of the attacks by our side. So this is going to be the lone Town Hall 10 3-star by King's Elite against them. This is their number 1 taking on our number 25, and this was definitely a rush Town Hall 10 that we had on our side, which is unfortunately in a war like this a liability, but that's the way it goes, and that's okay. So enemies going in with a Go Lava attack consisting of 2 golems, 4 wizards, 4 archers, 2 lava hounds plus a lava hound in the CC, 20 loons, a jump spell, 3 rage spell, 1 freeze spell, and 1 poison spell. So he obviously starts out pretty standard into being able to send those golems in initially and be able to take down a couple of the air defenses, to get down the CC, get down the queen, and get down the king, and also an inferno. So once he got that down, it's pretty much game over at that point. He still got his queen running around, and then ends up hitting her ability and takes out an expo, and more and more he's able to do, and he's saved some loons from the back end, which is always really smart when you use these Go Lava raids to be able to clean up and do that. So he still had 1 air defense that was causing some problems, but he had enough loons to be able to overpower that. I think, had this base had higher heroes, probably would have been a little bit more difficult and may not have been possible to 3-star, but was definitely important for King's Elite to get a 3-star on a Town Hall 10, and overall it's certainly a solid attack. So we'll go ahead and look at a Town Hall 9 attack by King's Elite, and then we'll jump over into some other attacks from our side. And so this one's going to be, let's see here, which one we want to look at. It's going to be their number 28, which is Psych, against our number 27. We had anti-3 layouts on pretty much every base except our top 10 or so. Certainly all Town Hall 9s would have anti-3 layouts. And enemies going in with a little bit of an interesting attack, and one I would say I haven't seen before. And that's healers. And when you see the healers going in, obviously we're familiar with the Queen healer attack and what goes on there, but he's actually healing the Giants and not the Queen, at least not initially on that. So he's got his Giants going in as his funnel, and he had 3 Giants plus 6 Giants in the CC, along with 10 Wizards, 4 Minions, 23 Hogs, a Rage spell, 3 heal spells, and a Poison spell. So he's utilizing his Giants in there initially to be able to trigger the CC, as well as the heroes to go ahead and get them out of the way, and also see if he's able to set off some of the giant bombs there, so that once he starts to funnel his Hogs in, that obviously they're not setting them off. One of the best parts I saw about this attack was being very calculated and of course surgical with how he released his Hogs, so that there could be these other bomb spots, and making sure that he didn't set all of them off at once. So he was sprinkling the Hogs almost about 5 at a time, and then at the same point he still had his heroes going into the center of the base, and he still had those Giants who are beating on walls but getting healed. So that actually, I think, has an effect as the raid goes on, because there's that expo that's targeting the Giants, and it's not going to get those Giants down with the healers being able to go on. So continues to funnel around with just dropping in little groups of Hogs here or there, dropping in some Minions and some Archers, or Wizards rather, to be able to clean the outer structures, and just saving those Hogs to be able to continue to sprinkle them in. Finally uses the Queen ability, which is able to get that last expo down, and then he's got the last few Hogs that he's going in. And so really smart, I think, with the surgical deployment. Still got a heal spell, which he probably didn't even need, but was still really great in how he did that, and being able to be surgical on his deployment of the Hogs there, which is what enabled him to get the 3-star. So I think it was one of, if not the best enemy Town Hall 9 attacks that I had seen from King's Elite in that. So it was interesting army, but very solid nonetheless. So we'll go ahead and jump over to our side and show 3 attacks from our side as well. And first attack's going to be by Celebrant here, which is with another unique attack that I haven't seen come about yet, but seems to be working pretty well in the considering of a Golem plus a Golem in the CC, 8 Wizards, 3 Wall Breakers, 2 Lava Hounds, 18 Loons, 1 Minion, 4 Quake spells, 1 Rage spell, 1 Poison spell, 1 Heal spell. And the interesting part of this attack is really trying to get as much damage as you can done at the early part of the raid. And so what Celery is doing here is he's going ahead and he's using pretty much all his spells before he ever gets into the air portion of the raid. And one of the things I think really helps him on this base is the position of those air defenses. They're really close together, so where you can get pretty much 3 of the air defenses down at the early part in just that ground phase before the air phase ever even starts. So he's raging his troops up, and he's already gone in through the center of the base, and you'll see as this progresses down, he gets so much of the base down before he even drops the air. I think it makes it pretty easy from a back-end perspective in what he's able to take out once the air portion starts. So he starts it when he's at about 34%, and then gets the Lava Hound down on that last air defense, drops in the second one, and then starts sprinkling the Loons in behind once they're engaged on the Lava Hounds. And he's still got his Queen and his King pretty much at full health. So that's obviously making it great, and he still has the ability on this Queen as well. So he's in a good spot looking at this raid, and still saving some of those Loons, being surgical on the deployment there. And Selly I've seen been able to achieve Titan as a Town Hall 9, which is quite impressive. And so I think looking at his deployment on the loons, that's probably where he's fine-tuned that strategy and in surgical deployments of a Loonian strategy going up into Titan. That's probably what he's done. It's very common up there, so I think that certainly helps in war when you're looking at this type of an attack. So it was, as we speed up here, just obviously the 3-star is going to happen, so it's a solid attack overall, and something I know that Selly's expressed some interest in, and he's actually joined 49er War Clan after this war, so we're excited to have him and see him work on this attack and help us on the wars that we do as well. So next one we're going to go ahead and take a look at is by Luke Skywalker, who's going in with a walking queen but utilizing hogs. So you've seen some of our videos doing the walking queen with Valkyries as well as back-end hogs, and Luke's going in with all hogs on the back end of this here. So pretty standard deployment of what you do, at least initially, from that, and that's being able to drop the queen and obviously the healers. And he's brought three healers, 8 wizards, 1 golem plus a golem in the CC, and then obviously all the back end he's got with the 22 hogs that he's brought. So being able to get the CC triggered there by dropping those hogs, that's really smart, I think, when making sure that the queen is taking those on the outer, and then having to use the queen's ability probably here is I'm guessing what he's going to do. But he actually got that down with that poison spell, so that was even better. He didn't even have to use the queen's ability there. So continues to funnel through the base, start to drop the golems so that they start taking fire from defenses. Wizards to clear from the outside, couple wall breakers in to try to get through that wall, but the wizard tower took it down. So that was a momentary detour in what they had to do, but not a big deal because he's got a jump spell to be able to get through that core. And once he starts getting in here and getting more of these defenses starting to plug in and onto the golems, then he can start sprinkling in his hogs to be able to start to take through the base. So, and he's got still 2 remaining heal spells that I'm sure he'll use in the core or up in those quadrants off to the west there. So there's the first one going down, and then being able to still continue to have that queen up and running. Finally got that last or that air defense at the bottom down, so that healer stays alive a little longer to heal the queen up. Continues to sprinkle the hogs around, drop another heal spell. And again, a surgical deployment, I would say, of the loons here as well, into not making sure you just drop them in 2 entry points, and just be able to make sure you got a spread so that it kind of takes away some of the risk that you have with the double bombs being hit, as well as multiple hogs being taken out by the spring traps and those types of things. So he's going to have, by the time he's done here, he's going to have a lot of hogs left, got a bunch of wizards left, as well as a couple of his golems still left, and the queen pretty much at full health. So it was a great attack there, so good job by Luke on that. So last attack here is going to be the lone 3-star that we had on a Town Hall 10, and this is 2 wars in a row for me that I've been able to get a 3-star done. And basically what I did in trying to find a base is I really felt we needed a 3-star and was trying to figure out what base was the best option. And this was, they had all anti-3-star layouts, which is just brutal to try to get 3 stars on them. But the one opportunity I saw and why I hit this base was he had a single Inferno, and unfortunately I mistimed when I was actually going to attack this base. I got the end of the wartime wrong, and I almost missed my attack here at the end of the war, which would have been my first missed war attack ever. But fortunately you got communication apps between Line and Group Me where people can get on and let you know, and that's what they did. So I had to do this from my cell phone, which I typically attack from an iPad, and so right there's the first mistake you see with it. And then I missed my first freeze spell, as I meant to hit the multi-target Inferno, and I didn't, and I needed to get that down because that could seriously end all of the witches right there. So I dropped my second one that I had right away, and then was able to get that plugged down. And at that point, I thought, I'm just going to end up with 2 stars and maybe increase the percentage. I was not expecting that this was going to go on to 3-star. But then what kind of helped me there is that both of my heroes went to the left and the witches went to the right. I think if my heroes probably would have followed with my witches, there would have been too many defenses off to the left that would have cleared other stuff out, and I don't think it would have gone as well, to be honest. So being the fact that they split, I think, is what really helped me at that point. And even still, as you'll see the raid go on, it gets to be very close at the end to where I could have missed out on the 3-star on it. But, you know, anytime I think you, excuse me, anytime you see these single target infernos, sometimes it's good to consider some of these mass witch raids, because if you can manage getting the single inferno and keeping your witches on that, you're going to be fine. It's the multi-target inferno that is typically a problem. So you got to work through that to make sure that you handle that appropriately and bring, you know, one, and typically I like to bring 2 free spells whenever I can for those multi-target infernos. So as this kind of comes down, you see where it's getting to be a dicey point here. I've got 2 witches spawning some skeletons up. My queen is almost dead. And here's where I thought it was going to end, because I was like, oh, it's going to get through those skeletons, and as soon as that cannon targets my queen, I'm done, because the witches wouldn't have been able to get through. But I ended up having enough of the skeletons to go ahead. Smart queen went ahead and targeted the cannon before hitting that barracks there, and that enabled me to get the 3-star. So it was a lot of fun. Shout out to IBOS. Check out their clan. And leader over there, Borg, she's great. Had a great time with her, and overall it was a lot of fun, and we look forward to doing it again. So that's going to do it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, Clash on.